Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zed. Today, we're going to be talking about SoFi, or SoFi. And this company here, I did talk about it before, but it's been a while. So we're going to dive a little bit towards due diligence, some of the latest news, and then technical analysis. Speaking of which, currently they have a new promotion, which is basically refinance your student loans and get a bonus of $1,000. If you're in the US, I do apologize, or I do feel bad for the amount of student debt that you have, but that's an offer. Maybe consider. I'm not sure about refinancing student loans. For me, it was a public one and from the government of Canada. But anyway, so back towards some of the informations. First off, I do want to take a look into some of the latest news. Some people hate it, but you gotta get a feel of the company itself. Now, it's been almost a month, and we don't have any latest news coming in just generally from the news. The stock market have actually, been a little bit hazy, and this stock has definitely seen a massive beating from the top of 28.80 or 28.20. Currently, it's trading around 14.58, closer to the 52-week low of 10.80 than it is to the 52-week high. So that is something to really consider. The stock has really taken a beating, and we're going to talk about whether it might be a good time to buy or not based on what we're given in terms of information. So latest news. They announced a redemption fair market value in connection with redemption of its outstanding warrants. So this might actually bring some good amount of money for SO.FI, but shouldn't really dilute the market any further than what was already planned. Now, they also announced a secondary offering of common stock by selling stockholders. So that one here, they're selling stockholders, so it's not really injecting new shares, but rather shares that were already allocated. Now, they also participated in different conferences and showed some of the quarter results. But there's nothing significant that they've given us in the last couple of weeks or couple of months, in fact, that would really change things around. Now, based on this third quarter 2021 report, we're going to be able to anticipate the end of the year results for this one. So overall, in terms of members and thousands, you're able to see 2021 seeing a really nice increase in numbers, which definitely in terms of subscriptions and people, just general members and users, you're going to see it at the end of the 10K report to be a bullish thing. Now, in terms of products and thousands, that as well has seen a really nice growth and will really show, including as well Galileo accounts at the end of the year. In terms of the report, it's going to look better when they're comparing 2021 to 2020. Now, of course, financial services, lending products, those also saw a massive increase, especially financial service products. That's gone parabolic. And in terms of just money-wise, you're able to see that the quarterly adjusted net revenue is again positive, $277 million. 2021 will definitely look again better. It's probably going to be very close to around $900 to $1 billion, $900 million to $1 billion, and yearly adjusted net revenue, which is going to be a record for this one nonetheless. Quarterly adjusted EBITDA, that has seen a bit of a drop from 2020, so might not really look as good. Currently, you're able to see though that the annual adjusted EBITDA up to date is actually positive. So you're able to see it's 37 compared to 45, 149, and 227. And I do anticipate this one to continue to increase, probably around 40. So it'll be a really nice increase from 45 to probably even 45 positive. So you'll have probably a net increase in annual adjusted EBITDA of around $90 million. The annual adjusted net revenue up to date is around 912. So between 900 and 1 billion, we are already there. So I do anticipate this one would most likely reach $1 billion in terms of annual adjusted net revenue, which on its own would be a new record, and hitting for the first time a billion mark, that might actually get the stock market to be bullish on it. Now, in terms of the guidance, so for quarter 3, 2021, they've actually exceeded guidance. On the high, they were around 255. They met 277 million. Their actual adjusted EBITDA is $10 per share compared to a high of $3 per share. So they really crashed that out and beat it out. So it's really good. Now, in terms of the fourth quarter of 2021 guidance, it's between 272 to 282 million. So they're not only going for the full year of adjusted net revenue of 1 billion, they're in fact trying to hit the 1.1 billion, which again, the more the merrier. we're not going to say no to higher adjusted net revenues. Adjusted EBITDA is anticipated between $2 and $5. Last time it was between -7 and 3. So they're definitely getting their act together and improving their numbers. So in terms of the full year guidance of 2021, their adjusted net revenue is between 1 to 1.012 billion. I actually think there will be beating that guidance to 1.1 billion to 1 to 1.1 billion. I know I said 900, but we're actually above there at this point. After reiterating this information, I think 1 to 1.1 billion dollars in net revenue adjusted would actually be more likely rather than the 1 billion sharp they're anticipating. Adjusted EBITDA between 28 and 31. I do think it's actually going to be better. I mean, so far it's 37. So far it is actually within the guidance and actually beated up the guidance. I do think that we're probably going to be looking very close to 40. So I do think it's going to beat the guidance. This would definitely be a bullish thing, and it would probably send the stock to be pushed further. Now, price over book is 2.85, which is currently considered undervalued to the SP 500, which is always a bullish thing to look at. In terms of the price over sales, it's 13.91, but it's actually going to be half that, if not even better, because it's on something called TTM, which is based on last year's sales. And with anything we've seen is that this year's sales are actually a lot better than 2020. It's going to be almost double. That means that this TTM will probably be around 7, a bit still overvalued, but in the market of growth and tech, honestly, it is somewhat of a catch at this point. Now, institutional buyers. Institutions did a little bit of something here. So Red Crow Capital liquidated 21% of their shares on the 24th of November. SoftBank Group Core liquidated 19% on the 22nd of November. But you get to see from institutions at the end of the year, they're adding quite a good amount of these shares. Now, that is at the end of November and the first week of December. Nothing so far around this time of the year. Usually around closer to the holidays, things are a little bit quieter, as a lot of these investment bankers and people responsible for this are probably somewhere in warmer places in the world, not worrying about the stock market at this given point. Now, insider ownership is around 73%, including as well, that's from the float, including just voting of around 55.67. Before moving on towards technical analysis, if you would like to see more contents like this, make sure to click the subscribe button and leave notifications on. Also, don't forget to drop a like to this video if you enjoyed this video so far, and you can join us on our Discord if you would like to do so. Let's move on now towards technical analysis. Now, from a technical analysis perspective, there are a few things we do want to talk about. Moving averages, of course, are going to look bearish as it did slump quite a bit. The MACD here is attempting to bounce backwards. It might take maybe a couple of weeks for it to do so maybe after even the holidays, but you're able to see that it is attempting to go closer towards the 0 level mark. Momentum is currently on the negative side, not the best on its own. Now, in terms of willing percent R, which is very similar to the relative strength index, this one is shown to be oversold. So currently, this is not the kind of best news in its own, but it's promising news that it might be a good time to buy because there's more supply than demand. Once that fixes up, it might actually bounce upwards. MACD, it's bound to reach a positive reversal at some point, and it's very close. It's kind of really aimed up for some news or anything for it to bounce backwards. Now, Fibonacci retracements, we'll get to that soon. Stochastic fast and stochastic slow are showing more of, there might be another leg up for this one, but it still needs to be close to support. Now, moving average bands, those are strongly negative. We're able to see this one is anticipated to trade between 1969 and 1611, so higher where it is trading right now, but it's slumping downwards on the moving average bands, which is anticipated at this level. Now, Fibonacci retracements, the support is at 1356, then 1625, 1791, 1926, anything above, by the way, is resistances, so I switched to resistances, 2060, 2251, and 2495. Now, traditionally, we can just identify specific supports and resistances of interest. So the first support of interest would be 1441. If it does break it, we're in trouble. Below there, 1399 and 1356. Resistances. There are a few. 1504, and then upwards to 1577, and then 15.99, and then 16.44, 16.99, 16.99, then 17.34, and then upwards to 17.58. Jumps quite a bit to 18.61, then 19.79, 2014 jumps quite a bit to 21.01, or 21.08, my bad, 22.65, and then up to 30 or 23.66, and finally closer to the 24.51 mark. Now, before we move on to what I think about this one, analysts have given this one a moderate buy. That's 5 buys, 2 holds, with an average price target of 25.43. Now, this one here, it has the highest of 99.87 from the price target, almost double. Average, 69%. And the lowest is at 26.58 at an average price or at a price target of $19. The last one was 8 days ago. Morgan Stanley gave it a buy with a price target of $24, as you get to see here. 15 days ago, this person here, KBW, or actually firm, my bad, gave it a hold, $21. Nonetheless, the prices are higher from where it is right now. Comes to the question, Ed, what do you think is going to happen here? Well, I do think we're testing that $14. It really bounced nicely today, up to $14.58. Still lower, but I do think it's going to probably accumulate around $13 to $14, and that most likely would be my buy zone. Now, currently, it's on a negative channel or a negative trend line, as you get to see here. But with a lot of techs, for instance, today, I did a Palantir kind of video. We're seeing a lot of these negative channels, and it's mainly because of how the market has been trading lately. But I do think this is one of the stocks that probably would be good to hold for longer term, as they're presenting positive cash flow and they're growing exponentially. What do you think about this ticker? Make sure to mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like, and have a wonderful day. Now, if you're still here on this video, make sure to drop down below and join our Discord. We have a lot of different things going on, including, for instance, members that gives picks for free. It's not pump and dumps, we just things we think about, swings, etc. We also have really exciting bots. You can actually use those ones. For instance, we're just testing out this bot, for instance, that gives you Fibonacci resistance points, activities, etc. And we have a bunch of free things, totally free. We run on tips here, and you can ask me questions, suggest stocks, etc. It's a really nice community that has been growing up very fast at a very good rate, and it's totally free. If you would like to join that one, feel free to do so in the description below, and have a wonderful day.